Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have two possible extraterrestrial or ultra-terrestrial encounters to tell you about today, folks. In the first story, we have a manta ray UFO that was seen, folks, and the second, these hooded figures that performed a medical procedure on the witness. Either way, folks, let's get into the first article, Manta Ray Sky Entity, West Monroe, Louisiana, and read exactly what the experiencer saw in the sky. A quiet late-night September night in northern Louisiana turned into a profound, anomalous encounter. When two relatives stepped outside to observe the stars, what they witnessed drifting silently through the sky did not resemble any conventional aircraft or known celestial object. Their shared experience adds to a growing body of reports across North America describing massive manta ray-like aerial entities moving with deliberate grace. Let's read the actual account now. In late September, around the 26th or 27th, I was visiting my mother in West Monroe, Louisiana. My sister-in-law, JJ, was there as well. At about 10 o'clock in the evening, Central Time, we went outside with a pair of low-grade binoculars, hoping to catch a glimpse of Jupiter and its moons, which were said to be particularly visible and closer to Earth than usual. We attempted to focus the binoculars, but could not make out anything more than a blur. I then began scanning the sky with my naked eye, searching for the Big Dipper, since it is usually easier to identify because it was fall. The constellation was not as bright as expected, so I had to carefully study the sky before finally locating it. I excitedly pointed upward and said, "Look, JJ, there is the Big Dipper." As we were identifying the individual stars, I suddenly noticed something unusual moving across the night sky. At first, I thought I was imagining it. Then JJ saw it as well. The object was not flying the way an airplane or a bird would. The best way I can describe it is that it appeared to be swimming slowly and gracefully through the air. The figure was enormous. Its shape was unmistakably that of a giant stingray. It had broad wing-like appendages that moved in a fluid motion as though it were gliding through water rather than air. There were no lights, no metallic appearance, and nothing that resembled a traditional UFO. To me, it looked like a living creature, a created being, rather than a mechanical craft. The entity seemed to be higher than the treetops, but far below the stars or the moon. It was clearly within our atmosphere. We stood there completely transfixed, watching it move silently for what felt like 1 or 2 minutes. Then, without warning, it simply vanished. It did not gradually fade into the distance. It just suddenly was gone. Both of us were overwhelmed. We clung to each other, whispering in disbelief about what we had just seen. We kept asking one another, why would we have been allowed to witness something so extraordinary? The experience felt deeply spiritual, almost biblical in nature, as though a veil had been briefly lifted. Since that night, JJ and I have only exchanged a few text messages about the sign. She is convinced that what we observed was an angelic being. I am not certain of its nature, but I know it was something supernatural, something that did not seem to belong to our normal dimension or reality. I currently live in Texas, and JJ resides in Arkansas. The event has stayed with both of us. I am eager to know if others have witnessed similar sky creatures, because we both struggle to fit what we saw into any familiar earthly description, LM. And I doubt that, LM could possibly fit the existence of a manta ray-like UFO or entity into any conventional earthly knowledge, folks. The entity sounds like it's basically some sort of craft to me, folks. Some sort of biomechanical ship piloted by entities who could be maybe ultra-terrestrials or alien beings from beyond the stars. But I can't be for sure, folks. They could be interdimensional, but that can also basically equate to both basically aliens or, beings from the inner earth, folks, may be able to pass from one reality to another. All I can say, folks, is what LM saw is something that other people have saw, and the growing knowledge about them is changing how people see UFOs, folks, I would have to say. But do you believe that it was an alien vehicle, folks? Perhaps it was some sort of living entity, perhaps an atmospheric beast, but we can't say for sure. We'll talk a little more later, but let's get on to the next article, Unexplained Healing Hooded Humanoids in Child's Bedroom. Let's read how these hooded beings healed this young child, folks, and read exactly what the experiencer has to say about it. Let's get into the article now. In July 2018, a Florida mother claims she and her young daughter experienced a terrifying yet profoundly transformative encounter inside their Orlando area home. What began as another anxious night beside a terminally ill child reportedly became an unexplained healing event involving 3 tall, hooded beings. The case raises difficult questions about anomalous intervention and the possibility of unknown intelligence influencing human health. Indeed, folks, and that sounds beyond the pale, doesn't it, folks? Are aliens actually doing such things? Let's read on and find out, or at least we can maybe afterwards theorize about it. I recently came across your blog and read about several experiences and experiencers who described being cured of terminal illnesses after encounters with unknown humanoids or extraterrestrial beings. After reading those accounts, I felt compelled to share what happened to my daughter and me. Please do not use my name. We live near Orlando, Florida. On the night of July 25th, 2018, I was asleep in my 6-year-old daughter's bedroom. She had been diagnosed with an inoperable cancerous brain tumor and had been staying beside her at night. We suddenly woke up at the same time and saw 3 tall, hooded beings standing at the foot of her bed. Each of them appeared surrounded by a strange glowing aura. They seemed to be communicating with one another, but they did not speak to us. When I tried to reach over and touch my daughter, I realized she could not move. She was conscious, but only her eyes could move. The beings then moved closer to her bedside. As they did, a peaceful sensation seemed to wash over her. The one standing closest bent down and touched her. At that moment, everything became completely silent. I do not remember anything after that. The following day, my daughter experienced a massive nosebleed. She expelled a very large blood clot, so large that it almost caused her to choke. A few weeks later, I took her for a scheduled CT scan at the Oncology Center. Within hours of the scan, her oncologist called me at home. His voice sounded shocked and almost disbelieving. He told me that the tumor was completely gone. He said it appeared to have been removed by a laser procedure. He asked if she had undergone any surgery he was not aware of. I explained that nothing had occurred except the severe nosebleed and the explosion of the clot. He asked if I had saved the clot, which I had not. He then ordered additional tests and diagnostic studies. Every test came back clear. There was no evidence of cancer or lesions anywhere in her body. 3 months later, she was officially declared cancer-free. It has now been 4 years since her diagnosis. My daughter is healthy and active. A few years ago, I spoke with a woman in Tampa who described a similar experience. She had stage 4 colon cancer that had spread throughout her body, including her brain. She also reported being visited by 3 tall, hooded humanoids at her home. Her cancer was completely removed. From our perspective, these events are real. We believe we are living proof that such miracles can occur. Indeed, folks, I do believe that as well. Throughout the years, folks, there have been numerous cases of people inexplicably being cured of such diseases. People have basically found themselves cancer-free after visitations by angelic beings or extraterrestrial entities like these. Were the entities that visited this mother and daughter angels or aliens? For what purpose did they do this, folks? If they were angels, was it God's will? If they were aliens, is this young girl important to them for some odd reason? We don't know. All we can say is that these sorts of things have happened. Now, what about the alien bioship we read about earlier, folks? This manta ray-shaped UFO. Is it possible that aliens have developed such sophisticated technology that they can basically engineer living organisms as ships and fly them through space or through other and in and out of other dimensions? We don't know. All I can do is just ask, do you believe that? There have been numerous sightings of these flying manta ray-shaped UFOs, folks. They are just as mysterious as these visitations by, angel or angelic-looking beings that have healed people, folks, to these weird ultra-terrestrial beings that people subscribe to as fairies, to the alien beings like, the Greys and the reptilians. All you know, folks, is that these sightings do take place, and they are inexplicable and beyond understanding by typical people. But once again, I have to ask, do you believe it, folks? Do you believe that this girl is alive? Or do you think that this woman is basically trying to pull one over on us? I do know that such cases have happened, and they will continue to happen in the future, and people will also continue to see these manta ray-shaped UFOs, folks. Either way, we're now at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.